Well, when I saw my consultant and when I burst into tears and I said, I can't go on like this. I can't cope with all these things going wrong. Even then, and that never occurred to me, because of all the love I get from my family, how can I inflict upon them hurt and all the things that will go with that? I mean, they give so much to us. How can we return that to them? It would be so devastating. And the state that we're in, they still cope. And I suppose in a blessing, they feel needed. And all of us feel we want to be needed. So it's lovely that we are like that, but there's no way that I would inflict pain and unhappiness and all those sorts of things that go with it upon them. No way.
I think when you look at the people like Debbie Purdy, you can see in many instances cases far worse than ours. But I think, speaking from ourselves, you know, we're in a race, we're on a journey. I think where I come from, the journey needs to be completed, and completed in God's time, because, okay, 70 years and 10 or whatever it may be, but it needs to be completed, and there was never a guarantee that it was going to be smooth. Sheila and I used to sing a song which goes something like, God hasn't promised skies always blue, flowers-strewn pathways all our way through. God hasn't promised sun without rain, joy without sorrow, peace without pain. But then the chorus goes on and says, but what God has promised is strength for the day, rest for the labour and light for the way, grace for the trials and help from above. And that's the sort of thing when you feel, and maybe I feel differently to Sheila, because sometimes I have thought, I can't go on with this. I'm not sure I'm doing the job very well that I'm supposed to be doing. But then I think, well, hold on. There are other occasions in life where things didn't quite go as you planned them, in my career, in the things I did, in my sporting activities, so on. But you are where you are, and then that's the bottomless pit that I get dragged back up from. And remember, there's grace for the trials, help from above, unfailing kindness. And then the last bit says that undying love. And I always just stop and think, well, I don't know, Jesus didn't have to go to the cross for me, but he went. So hang in there, Toogood.
We're not saying it's easy.
Ooh.
No, we're not. And we don't paper over the cracks. The cracks are there. And we try to not make everybody's life miserable. You know, like some people say, oh, how are you? Oh, I've got a pain here, and I've got a pain there. There's no way I'm going to say that to anybody, because they've got their own difficulties in life. They've got their own bottomless pit. So why should I say, oh, I've got a pain here and I've got a pain there? I just say, I'm fine. And that's it. And they always say, oh, you're always fine. I say, well, I am. That's it. I am fine. And everything else is behind closed doors. And there are not quite so fine behind the closed doors, but we still try to keep it behind closed doors. And there are only family, really, who know what it's like behind those closed doors, because they've seen us, ups and downs, and they've dealt with it, they've held us, I had a seizure one day, and our oldest daughter was here, and all she did was hold me. She held me and said, I'm here, Mum, I'm here, Mum, I'm here, Mum. That's lovely. How more can you ask of that? You know, wonderful family. Well, all we can do is tell people, if they really, really, really ask, and we really think that it would do some good in telling what it's like, then we would tell them what we feel they should know. We feel if they're in this situation, we've been there. If they look to the future, we can perhaps tell them what it might happen. If they look to the future, we say, you can do this, that and the other, but don't forget, there are many things you cannot do, and you must accept that. You must accept that you can't do lots of things. It takes a great deal of strength to say that. There are many things I can't do. Well, I want to, would love to walk. I really would love to walk, but I can't. And you have to accept it. And you say to somebody else, if you can't walk, it's very, very hard for me to say to you, well, okay, you can't walk, and accept it. It's very hard for them to accept it. And you know where they are. And you can say from your own personal experience, which sometimes are up there, sometimes are down there, that you can tell them your own personal experience. Whether they are able to take that on board, I don't know. But you can but tell them and say, you know, it's difficult. It is difficult. And you need support of family and friends. You need that. Don't try and do it on your own. Don't try and make decisions on your own. Talk to somebody. This is so important. Tell somebody what you feel and how you feel it, because you can share things like that. If the person really needs to be shared, the nasty bits with, they know that we've been there, we've done that, and hopefully we've come through it, or we're still battling to come through it. It is hard, and they will find it hard, but we'd like to prepare them for the nasty bits, and there are lots of nasty bits. Bits, as I said, I've cried myself to sleep sometimes because I lay there in the darkness, and when it's quiet and still, I think, I can't go on with this, I can't go on with this. But you think, I've got to go on, I've got to go on, and it's for my family. How can I inflict upon them my selfish feelings when it brings them so much hurt? And they've given me and Alan so much love. How can you return that with hurt and pain? I just don't think it's on. I really don't.
I think it would be fair to say that our faith has been tested over the last 7 years. I hinted earlier that we've asked why a few times. And there isn't an answer to that. But I think the only thing we feel certain of, and that is the situation that we're in, it won't change, so we'll continue that with the sure and certain hope that there is a mansion prepared for us. Sheila says very aptly she'll be able to not just stand up, but jump for joy when she meets Jesus face to face. And I'll be delighted to shake him by the hand and thank him for lifting me out of the bottomless pit. So with our eyes firmly fixed on that finishing post, whenever that is, whatever circumstance that has, we'll hang in there for that, because there's better things to follow, and we're convinced of that, and that keeps us going.